wanted to update everyone on my, sorry, I'm out of breath, on my writing desk. I have all my sketchbooks, my journals up here, this skull, this mirror that I got from Goodwill, an art print that I got from a local art festival, some dried flowers off of my great-grandma's grave, and basically everything on here is the same. So let's get into today's video. Okay, this is where we're starting. So in April, so the 1st of April, a little out of breath. Me and my friend stamped and packaged and signed every one of my 8x10 prints and printed the rest of my lino cuts. This is one of my rat lino cuts that I sell on my Etsy shop. Then the next day we finished packaging the last of these lino cuts, and I watched Captain America Winter Soldier and Thor Dark World, because I'm trying to rewatch all of the Marvel Universe movies before the new Spider-Man movie comes out. I think this month. I totally could be wrong. And then that Friday, I picked up my art stuff, scooped and showered, into the litter boxes, and then we left for Kingston to visit my Mama Ruby, my great-grandma. And we stayed the night at, I went to the campground to visit my grandma. This is the view from the campground. It has like a little lake. It was like really beautiful. And then this is my grandma's dog Toby, which I've actually done a pet portrait of him before. Insert picture. And then I remember after we left the campground, stayed the night at my grandma's, I went to, or my mom and papa's, on my mom's side, we drove to there. They're like 2 hours away, or an hour-ish away from my other grandma. And at their house, I watched the documentary about, hi. She wants to be here with me. Hello. Do you want to find a spot to sit? I remember like while I was there and I was watching they were watching the news, and the Artemis 2 was halfway to the moon at that point. And I just wanted to document that because, I think that's really cool. And I saw a bunch of Artemis 2 edits about her braid, and like women and AFAB people for thousands of years have braided their hair and even braided other things, even like, changing like and contributing to like revolutions and huge changes in history just from like secret messaging and braids and hairstyles and crocheting and she wore a braid to the moon, and I just I'm not gonna cry over that right now. I've cried too much over that. And so that's why I included this picture, because that's just like really important to me. But I also watched the documentary about Miyazaki. They made an animator and artist for Studio Ghibli, about his life and animating, and I believe they were animating, I can't remember, it's the short film that they only play at the Studio Ghibli Museum. Is it Boro? It's like they were animating a tiny little caterpillar worm thing. It was very cute. But I watched that while they had gone to church, and then we went home. This is what I had on Easter. It was some rice and hibachi veggies. And then the next week is actually whenever I had my my art booth set up that I've been preparing for months for. So that Monday when I got home, I just literally rested and napped and maybe unpacked my luggage. And then these two oil pastel paintings, which I'll put pictures of, those had actually been ruined by being stacked on top of each other, so I had to fix them and spray varnish them again and price through some prints. The next day I priced some prints and I had set up my booth like inside my house with some help to just kind of see and know how I wanted to do it. And then April 9th, that Thursday, I actually had a neurology appointment at 11 a.m. Because I've seen many neurologists, which I'm going to do a video about my health diagnoses and my journey and all of that later on. I had seen so many neurologists, so I wasn't really expecting them to do anything, but they actually diagnosed me with FND, which is short for functional neurological disorder. So it was nice to finally have an explanation as to why I, shake, have tremors, my non-epileptic seizures that I have on top of my regular epilepsy seizures, epileptic seizures that they are assuming is epileptic seizures because the say that 5 times fast. The epilepsy medication, that it's like levetiracetam or whatever, but I always call it Leviathan because like I can never really pronounce it right. So yeah, like the Leviathan medicine like made my tonic-clonic, my convulsive big like unconscious seizures like stop. So they were like, well, we didn't catch one when you were in the EMU like last year, like the year before, I can't remember, but they were like, we're just gonna assume that they're epileptic because the medicine is helping you. And I was like, cool. But it was nice to finally get an answer to, why I have trouble walking and wake up randomly paralyzed. So that was, and then I got home and I just rested and just got stuff. What is that word for bears? That's not spelt like bears. It looks like it's spelled B-A-R-E-S. Bones. For bones. Got stuff for bones. I got stuff to clean the bones. So I had set them in a mix of dishwashing liquid and soap for like on and off and rinsing it out and switching it out for like a week or two. And then this day I'd finally set them in hydrogen peroxide, just straight hydrogen peroxide. And then I dried them out and like had hot glued and fixed up the bones, which I'll put a picture of the bones because on that Friday I finished the bones and packed all my art stuff. My friend helped me clean and I showered. And then my friend Taylor and my friend Raven, both of my, I have 3 best friends, but 2 of my best friends came over and they hung out with me because they were going to help me set up for the art fair the next day. So they hung out with me that day and we watched Nausicaa and the Valley of the Wind, which is one of my favorite Studio Ghibli movies. And actually one of my cats is named after it. Her name is Nausicaa. And then that Saturday I have it circled and starred because this is when the art fair was at a local place that I sell my art at. I set up, I didn't really do anything but sit there. Even though I sat there for like 8 hours, it was really hard on my body. That's the longest I have sat up. I didn't even do anything. I just sat there. But that's the longest I've sat there in over 2 years, and I paid so hard for it. But we like hung out and, did the art. So this is my stickers and my little easel setup, and these are the bones. This is my outfit and my makeup. And that day, whenever we got all back to my house, my friend Raven made banana pudding. and we just hung out, went through my mom's scrapbook stuff, and then I like conked out to sleep for like 14 hours. And then the next day I hung out with them before they left, and then I took an 8-hour nap and rested and talked to my other best friend Theo on the phone. So yeah, and I was wiped, even though I had only, sat up for 8 hours. Like, I know to some people that might not seem like, oh, you're just sitting on a chair, whatever, for that long, but like, it genuinely caused so much pain and like a flare-up that lasted so long. Just because that was the longest I had sat up since I got sick, like 2.5, almost 3 years ago. So, yeah, so then the next Monday that week, I watched Wolfblood and read, and I caught up this planner to here, and updated my Etsy and took an 8-hour nap on top of sleeping, I read King's Cage, and then this is a screenshot of Wolfblood, but I just, like, rested this entire day on Monday, to just try and attempt to recover. And then my cat, Nala, I had never heard her hiss before this day. Like, I had never heard her hiss, ever. And so she was acting a little agitated and was hissing. And so even though to some people, like, that might not be enough to take their cat to the vet, I was worried because I was like, that's a major change in temperament, because she's usually really lovey-dovey, wants to be all up on you, as you all just witnessed. And I'd never heard her hiss before. Like, I was startled. My jaw dropped and I turned around and I was like, are you okay? Because I guess, like, my other cat, Nausicaa, was trying to play with her. And she didn't like it. So I was like, oh my gosh. So me and my friend took Nala to the vet, and then I played fetch with Nausicaa. And this is, Nala's little x-rays of her little baby body. I just thought it was so cute, her little x-rays. They basically said that she was completely fine, and she just really needed to poop. So I spent like $450 because she really needed to poop. But hey, I'd rather like be in debt $400 and like know that she's like perfectly fine than like not take her and her be in pain, or like, I was just worried. And then the next day I just rested and read the next book in this series by Victoria Aveyard, which is Warstorm. I just rested, and I was trying to prioritize rest, so I had asked my dad to scoop the litter boxes, and thankfully he did. And then that Thursday I also rested, updated my Etsy, and I gave Nala and Nausicaa treats. I basically just laid in bed that entire day. And then the next day on Friday, I rested in the living room. I took 2 naps, and I got boba, which my boba order is like vanilla tea with the strawberry bursting boba. I don't personally like the little tapioca ball bobas. I used to really like them, but now that I have problems chewing and swallowing when I get really tired, the popping ones is like less of a safety hazard. So I started getting those when I got sick, and I don't think I'm switching back. And then the next weekend, my friend Leanna and GT came over to hang out. We upcycled some of my clothes, and we had an at-home concert because Dexter and the Moonrocks had canceled their concerts that we had all wanted to go to. But, well, I wanted to go to, but I really can't really go to concerts that much anymore. I do have my wheelchair now, but concerts are still really hard. So this is a picture of Dexter and the Moonrocks, and we made a little, faux mocktail, which I think was just, blue raspberry punch, edible glitter lemonade, and Sprite. Okay. Sorry, that was my cat using the litter box. I was like, where's that water leaking from? But yeah, so yeah, that's from the stay-at-home concert. And then the next Sunday, I just rested and read outside. I listened to Floral and Fading a lot that day, and it was very stormy and so I just rested and read outside. It was a whole vibe. And then the next week in April, I rested, and I was on my phone in bed most of the day, and my dad made me a black bean burger. So this is Nala cuddling me in bed. You can't really see it very well, but she rested with me in bed. And then that Tuesday I called and I scheduled 2 appointments, and I scooped the litter boxes and I showered. And then Wednesday I got ready for an appointment, but it was rescheduled without me being made aware. So, that was fun. Good thing I had called them and was like, hey, what's up, So, yeah. And then that Thursday, I had an appointment with my primary care doctor at 11 a.m. I got my permanent disability placard, which I'm glad to have because the temporary ones that I've been using on and off for like a couple of years have really, really helped me, like especially in the summer on really bad days. Like there was days where I would park as close as we can, and then I would try to go in, and like walking halfway across the street I would almost collapse in the street, which is like totally unsafe. So this is really helpful. Hold on one second, I'll wait till you're done. But yeah, so I'm excited to get this permanently because the people at the county clerk office said that I couldn't get any more temporary ones. But also at the same time, it kind of felt like a nail in a coffin, like the final nail in a coffin getting hit, because like it just really sunk in, like, oh, this is for the rest of my life. So that was like, took some processing. But I also got, hi, Nausicaa bug. She's like, what you doing, Mama? Is that paper? She's like, what is this? Oh my goodness. Can you scoot your butt? She's like, give me the paper, Mama. Go get Sissy. Go get her. Are you gonna play? Wait, I'll move. You can get down right here. Go ahead and get down. Boop, 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 boop. Beep, beep. Beep, 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 beep. Hi, Nala. Hi, baby. Nausicaa, Mama can't give you any of this paper. It's attached to my journal. Brief pause. Brief intermission. But I also got, a new prescription for compression socks because I lost a pair of mine, but these ones are toeless, so that was pretty cool. And then I sat outside and I read Wake, I restarted a series about sirens by Amanda Hawking called Wake. It's part of the Water Song series that I had read, I think, in middle school, and I had really liked it, and it was giving summer vibes, so I wanted to do that. So I read that outside. Then the next day I rested, and then I saw a thing where you can go on science.nasa.gov and type in your name and people's names and get your name spelled out in sat images. So I did my friends, because I didn't think mine was that pretty. But I did my friends. It's up. I put it in here upside down, but it's Akator. I put it upside down, but it's like super cool. I thought that was really cool. It spells your name out with the earth. And then that Saturday, I watched Max and ate some vegan yogurt, and talked to my friend Theo for a bit and read outside and scooped the litter boxes and showered. And then that Sunday, we went and visited Mama Ruby, which is my great-grandma. And unfortunately, she's so cute. Unfortunately, this next week, she did pass away. So I just kind of wanted to share a little bit about her. So this is her in remembrance. I thought this was very pretty, on her in remembrance. But yeah, she was born August 12th of 1930. And she died on the 29th of 2026. That is a really long time. She lived a really good life, was surrounded by, lots of family and friends. I always remember her. She was always super feisty and independent, and like, nobody could tell her nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she was very strong-willed, and that's something that I really admired about her, all the way up, to the end of her life, she was always pretty feisty. So, but yeah. Then on that Monday, I rested, I read, and I ate some salad and vegan chicken. And I wrote some of my novel that I'm trying to write, which is called Soulbringer. So far, I'm not even a tenth of the way done, but I have the plot mainly sussed out. But the quote at the beginning of the book is, "All suffering originates from craving, from attachment, from desire," by Edgar Allan Poe. I just wanted to include a quote from him in there. And then the next day, I lino printed a bunch of clothes after I'd gone through my closet, and my friend Leanna helped me cut and sew them. So this is like a picture of some of the clothes. I'm going to do a video on that later. And then I started the jellyfish oil pastel, and embroidered the next week in May. But yeah, that's Nala cuddling me, and then this is my jellyfish painting. I'll insert a picture of it finished, but, you know, that's basically all in April. Except for in my commonplace journal in April, I had saved a quote from The Monster and Frankenstein. The monster. I have monster in quotes. I put, "To you I am obscene, but to myself I simply am." And that is a quote that I wanted to save that month. Yes, I think I did this in April. But I had done this commonplace spread on pigeons through the centuries. And I don't really want to, like, read it out loud, but if you want to pause it to read it, you're welcome to, if you can read my horrible handwriting. Basically that's it. I don't think in my art book I drew any. I might have updated Harold a little bit. I've been kind of wanting to fill out the background on Harold, but I think I decided that he's a pigeon spy, because why not? And he has a cool little monocle. He's a pigeon spy, and he's looking for a spy job. Just creating background lore on a silly little drawing. But that is it for April. Thank you for listening to me yap and updating you guys on my month. I know it's a little late. I just haven't really been feeling the best. Physically, doing pretty good mentally. Just physically, my body's been a little wrecked and inflamed and stuff. So, but thank you so much for watching my video. Hope you guys have a good rest of your month. And I'm filming this in June, so if you're watching this in June, happy Pride Month. And if you're not watching this in June and it's the next month, I don't know what celebration month that is. But I hope you have a good day, no matter what month you're watching this from. Bye, guys.